Let's talk about FISA Section 702 and why this debate isn't as simple as the internet wants it to be. I'm in favor of renewing Section 702 with additional safeguards on the kind of intelligence that can be collected and how it can be queried. And I'm not saying that as someone who just read a headline and picked a team. I served as a Russian linguist in the Air Force back in the 80s. I know how much can go on behind the scenes while the rest of us live our happy little lives. Most people have no idea how many threats never make the news because they get stopped quietly. So first, what's Section 702, really? The Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act created a legal framework for national security surveillance with court oversight. Section 702 is the part everyone argues about today. It allows the government to target non-U.S. persons located abroad to collect foreign intelligence. It doesn't require an individual warrant for each foreign target, but it does require broad procedures approved by the Attorney General and reviewed by the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court. Supporters argue it's one of the most effective tools we've got for identifying foreign terrorists and their networks, tracking espionage and cyber threats, monitoring transnational criminal organizations, and connecting people inside the United States to foreign actors. And yes, there are documented cases where this kind of authority helped disrupt real plots and locate real enemies. Here's the reality nobody wants to admit. Threats today are fast-moving and often international. Communications pass through U.S. systems. And if you force everything into slow traditional warrant workflows, you lose speed and visibility. In intelligence, speed isn't a luxury. It's the difference between prevention and cleanup. Now, I can already hear the pushback. People will say, you're choosing security over freedom. No, this isn't a choice between security and liberty. It's a question of balance, and there are two real risks at the same time. Too little surveillance means missed threats, slower response, and higher odds of attacks. Too much unchecked surveillance means misuse, erosion of civil liberties, and loss of public trust. Both risks are real. Both risks have receipts, and this is where the Constitution matters as a guardrail, not as a talking point. The Fourth Amendment is the line between citizens and unreasonable searches. The Fifth Amendment is why due process exists when government power touches your life. So yes, even when the government has a legitimate national security mission, Americans still have protections. The burden's on government to justify what it does, not on citizens to just trust the system. That's why I support renewal with reforms. Keep the capability because threats are real and evolving. Tighten the guardrails when Americans' data is involved. Strengthen accountability so misuse has real consequences. That means requiring warrants or a higher threshold for certain searches involving Americans. That means limiting who can access and query the data. That means real-time audit systems that flag abuse fast, not years later. And that means meaningful penalties for misuse, not a slap on the wrist and a shrug. Now let me address the context nobody wants to talk about, honestly. We've had very high numbers of border encounters in recent years, and that puts strain on screening and vetting systems. Encounters aren't the same as admitted immigrants, and migrants as a group aren't the threat. But volume changes the math. When you flood a system, you increase the difficulty of thorough screening, and you increase the odds that bad actors can hide in the noise. You also increase the odds that people with foreign ties, hostile or friendly, enter for reasons that aren't always clear in real time. In that environment, removing intelligence capabilities isn't brave. It's reckless. And here's the key insight that should make every adult pause. Saying I have nothing to hide assumes systems will always be used correctly. Definitions of wrongdoing won't expand, and future leaders will act in good faith. History says treat those assumptions carefully. At the same time, dismissing surveillance tools entirely ignores the reality that intelligence professionals know exists. The world isn't a safe place because we wish it to be. It's safer because we build systems that detect threats, disrupt networks, and stop attacks before they happen. So my position is simple. Don't scrap Section 702. Renew it, but don't renew it blindly. Renew it with disciplined use, enforceable limits, and real accountability. Capability plus constraint. That's how you protect national security and the principles this country's built on at the same time.